It is 6 p.m. I will call to order the regular meeting of the Wildomar Planning Commission, Wednesday, August 5th at 6 p.m. May I have a roll call?
Commissioner Falar,
Here.
Commissioner Yum,
Here.
Commissioner Canberra is absent, Vice Chair Golden,
Present.
Chair King.
Here. Okay, next up is our flag salute. Eric, would you mind?
Absolutely. Please stand if you place your right hand over your heart and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Falar.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, at this time, the Commission received general public comments regarding matters within our jurisdiction that do not appear on the agenda. Do we have any public comment?
Thai Cam.
See, in February, I came here a couple of times, but you guys keep canceling it. I don't know why. You guys on vacation?
Holiday.
No, in March you cancel, April, and then I come here on June, you get cancel, and then I come to July, you cancel. Okay, now it's okay now. Okay, now the first thing concerned about my party, right? You guys know my party a couple of times because of the water rain season, all the debris coming down, and then I complained it, and you guys they coming out, they put the Mickey Mouse, and they cover with practice, and because the dirt is coming almost, my friend is 6 foot high. Now the water raining, now they go to 1 foot high. Hey, it's coyote were jumping over, and then I wanted the rest to coming over. There's no problem there, right? That's why the problem is not solved yet, right? Now the second one is after that, and now on the longer way on my brick wall, the 2 forward 1.5 inches long. It's split like this. Now that's why I'm concerned about my thing will fall apart. Okay, I let you guys know. Okay, I'm concerned about that because I don't want to go down and give you guys not know for another paper, no from my attorney. See, that's why I let you guys help me again. See, let the contact know, this is not right. All right? Now the first thing is not right, the second thing is not right. Now after that, you guys have to ask them to clean their mess. Because I don't want the next coming up, we call it 911, but the ambulance comes to my house to put the body back or some whatever it is. You know, it's danger. All right? All right, thank you. See you. All right? I keep coming.
Okay.
Please
Thank you.
do, thank you.
Next up, we have Ann Kiggins.
Hello, Council. I have a couple matters to talk about. One is I completed the online survey for the Wildomar Long Range Training Plan and attended the in-person meeting. There were many equestrians at the in-person meeting, and we went around the room as we were instructed, and at the wish list poster, there were 68 items that were listed on Wildomar's wish list. Pickleball courts, library rooms, nothing for equestrians. 0 out of 68 items on the wish list. We still have 3 horses on our Wildomar seal. It's deceptive, it's misleading, it's insulting to me that the city pays for this survey, 68 items, 0 for horses. We had to write, there were 17 handwritten items for that people. We were instructed that if there was something that you wanted that was not on that list, to handwrite it in. 17 people wrote on the thing, equestrian, something for equestrians. I know back in 2015, because I have a copy of the map, there was a map trail. It was called the Marietta Creek Trail. I guess it was proposed, never took a place. It went from Copper Canyon Park down through Marietta Creek, crossed over to Palomar, and then went past Marna O'Brien Park all the way to Serenity. This map is dated June 6th, 2015. It's called the Murrieta Creek Trail, City to City Trail Festival. Nothing ever happened with it. Wildomar has that beautiful Wildomar or Murrieta Creek that runs right between Grand and Palomar. What a jewel that would be for the city. I know the Water District owns it. The Water District has been very compliant with Temecula, letting equestrians and walkers use their property. I think we need to look at that because it is insulting to me that a survey that the city paid lots of money for has nothing for equestrians. This next thing would be the backup on Clinton Keith. Every morning when you're going east on Clinton Keith to get on the southbound 15, the traffic to turn onto the 15 is backed up almost to Palomar every morning. What happens, all those people are backed up to Palomar, and now they're cutting in line. As the lights change, they cut in line at the coffee shop, at the Taco Bell, and dive into that traffic lane to get onto the freeway. It happens every day. I think it would be an easy fix. There's 3 lanes that go onto the freeway. One is a carpool, which is not being monitored currently. And then the other 2, all you would have to do is make the second lane, the one is a must turn right, that other one to be an okay to turn right lane. Because there's 3 lanes that go to the freeway. We could use 2 of them and it would relieve all that. And then all the extra houses that are being built in Murrieta that are going to use Clinton Keith as their access, is the city of Murrieta paying for any of the maintenance on Clinton Keith? Because the road is just trashed at this point from all the semis driving on it. I just want to know if Murrieta is paying for any of that, because all of their homes will be using Clinton Keith for access. That was just all. Oh, and the thing for on the Wildomar Trail, the Grand Avenue multi-purpose, it is not safe for horses. You cannot have a horse 5 feet from cars. The average speed goes 60, 65 miles an hour. I live 200 feet from Grand Avenue. 60 is the slow speed. You cannot have a horse 5 feet from that. It's just a death wish. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ann.
Tony Bogarding.
Good evening, Chairman, Vice Chairman, Commissioners, and gentlemen. My name is Tony Borgerding, and I live off of Loring Road, which is a kind of a small road in Wildomar that transitions to dirt at a certain point where there's about 18 of us that live up there off the dirt road. So I was here 2 months ago, and my understanding is there's a gentleman that I think he's probably our most recent addition to the 18 that has opened up both a physical fitness and a camp for baseball players, both pitching, batting. And what it's done is it's created quite a bit of traffic. And I know Roll and his team have been out there, and there's some actions currently in place. What I don't know is if there's any serious headway, because in the 2 months since the last meeting that we've had, it doesn't seem to have changed any. So I don't know if can be an elevated enforcement action that may do that. I'll give you an example that just happened this evening. Bouchart, which comes to a T at Loring, and you can go right onto the dirt road, or you can go left and stay on the pavement. My daughter was traveling down Loring. There's no stop. There is a stop sign at Bouchart. So when you're coming down Loring and you're going to go on the dirt road, you just go straight. But some people assume that no one's going on the dirt road. So they're on Bouchart at a stop sign and they start turning. And my daughter almost got in an accident just this evening from a young kid. I'm not going to assume that they were going up there for baseball training, but young kid, beat up car that would fit the high schooler. It kind of made all sense, but that's just a real live example of things that could happen based on increased traffic. And so it is a private road, so Abdul and his team did do a little research for me and let us know that it's a private road. It's our responsibility as homeowners. So at this point, the fact that it's still going on, it's putting the ball kind of in the homeowners' court now to say, well, if it's a private road, we have too much traffic. Should I spend my time and effort to go put in speed bumps and put in signs because someone else is over there making money running a business that is illegal, right? It's illegal from what I understand. So what they're doing is not legal. I want to make one more claim that it is just a rumor, but I just want to make sure we're all playing by the same rules. I would think that if anyone on this commission were to be attending the physical fitness at an illegal business in Wildomar, that would be a conflict of interest. Is that true? So I would first make sure that there is no one on this commission that is buddy-buddy with Mr. Nelson, because that just looks odd to me. If we have a guy who's violating the rules, which I understand that is an illegal business, and someone on the commission is going up there and enjoying the facilities, that as just kind of looking at things black and white, that seems like it is not the correct move. So you got a choice.
Thank you for your comments. I'm sorry to cut you off, but we do want to try to stick with our 3 minutes. I'm not sure if there's some guidance perhaps from the city on what sort of things residents on a private road are allowed to do, but I'm sure our city staff would be able to help you with that.
Yeah, the code enforcement's been the primary lead on this, so
Thank you.
thank you for your time.
Stephen Lusky.
Good evening, Council. My name is Stephen Lusky. I live on Wildomar, Virgo Way, right across from the 11-acre proposed park and the Butterfield Trails that are right along it, which I actually helped with many years ago. I'm here to speak about the 20-acre proposed park that is to preserve and maintain the natural features of the existing property, and is proposed to be a passive nature park with limited active amenities and a focus on passive amenities. So this phase 0 is apparently in the works, should be hopefully complete in the months to come. I don't have issues with that. It does include for phase 1 and 2 yet to be funded an 18-hole disc golf course, of which is kind of diametrically opposed to being a passive nature park. So that's the key issue for me. Is this something that is fixed in the plans and is not going to really change? Is there a possibility of reducing it or maybe moving it to another spot, perhaps be included with the 27-acre park? So that's one concern. Another is that there is no water feature there. There is supposed to be a boardwalk with a bird observation deck, but no water features. With no water features, you're going to have very few birds or other pollinators. There is a small section of the park that's proposed to be a pollinator butterfly garden and no water features, so that's going to hurt that. Oh, another aspect of a disc golf course, they're going to clear nearly half this nature area. They're going to clear it, they're going to grub it, scraping out the roots and seeds. So, and then people playing on it would be running all around, trampling the ground. A lot of pollinators live in the ground or nesting sites by the ground. Very disturbing if it's going to be a nature park. You know, some people would go to a nature park for just relaxing and, being able to observe nature, not, trying to compete with the discs flying around. So there's a thought there. So another aspect of concern is the amount of water that would be used. I know they're planning on putting in some large plants at the start. One question is, how soon do you really need the plants to be large? Can you take a number of years, let volunteers work with you, and have this help to install and maintain the properties? There are examples of some places that have large areas, a similar area, like in Redlands, there's a Caroline Park. It's all native plants, mainly run with volunteers with some cooperation of the city. So I would hope that you can consider something like this and work with not just me, but there's a lot of people in the region who are native plant experts and would like to be able to contribute to this, work with the city, work with the planners, work with the staff, the people that you have there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lusky.
Gina Castanon with donated time from Ruben.
Good evening, Commission, staff, and members of the audience. My name is Gina Castanon, and I'm here to talk about the survey, too. I was at the workshop. There was some of you from Planning Commission that was at the workshop as well, and I left because this is but yet again another survey, of what we want in the next 10 to 20 years. Well, what we want in the next to 20 years is the same thing we wanted 18 years ago. Same things. Nothing has changed except for development and zone changes and 18 years of pushing back, taking forever to do things. So my question is, 18 years ago, I was on the full disclosure, I was on the incorporation committee, so I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, because we went for 5 years and educated the community about what did you want? What do you want to see happen? Well, it was clear. We wanted to preserve Wildomar. We wanted to keep its rural culture. We wanted trails. I was wanting the founding members after Butterfield Trails, when we became a city, we broke away from Butterfield and became the Wildomar multi-use trails, which really, we didn't get a lot of help from the city. Right? Every time we go to staff to say, your trails aren't wide enough, you say 5 feet. I know for a fact that it has to be at least 8 feet side to side so a horse can turn around. The reason they don't use our trails is because they're not wide enough. So we have to provide for our horse community. What did we want when we became a city? Faster police time. Got that. And emergency services. More police. We've got that. Fire station on east side. Don't have that. Don't have a community center or a senior center. No museum. And when I want an answer from staff so the community knows, when about are those things going to come in place? Where on the timeline? You're asking us what we want for the next 10 to 20 years. We're asking you. What are you going to do in the next 10 to 20 years? Really? We've been a city for 18 years. So that survey and the meetings were not well attended. Not any of them. And that happens time and time again. We all call for transparency within the city. How about we ask David Hornstein on that electronic sign that we have up there, say, Planning Commission meeting, like when we have to put out the agenda, put out on the thing, Planning Commission, City Council meeting, so there is more transparency. So, also, we have an election coming up, and the community needs to know that, this these districts is not working. Even on commission here, you guys aren't districts, right? You're at large. We have a lack of participation in this community. I'm here with 2 different surveys. So maybe some of the people in the audience here or somebody would like to get a hold of me and see what these surveys are. Maybe they can go out to their neighbors and see what they want. And I will be at the next city council meeting because I have some ideas for some of these future things. The gentleman that said about the park, the horse amenities on the property right next to us. I've been in contact with staff and the developer next door because there was a trail on that. I conditioned that property years ago. I have worked before when we were in the county with the development that was across the street in Beezer because those were in the county and we still adopted them when we were a city. And that project next door calls for trails. But somehow the trails were taken off. And then I'm told that, well, when the landscape issue, comes, up to approval, that's when we'll, hone in on those details of the landscape and this curb. I condition that project for trails and curb, gutter, and sidewalk. Get rid of the sidewalk if there's no room for it anymore, and put the trail. McVicker and Palomar is, in my opinion, not safe anyway. I have worked for 5 years with EVMWD and in the last year or two with staff trying to make it safer. The best that I could do from EVMWD, the city made them do a SOP to make sure that people are safe. And now they have flagmen at the intersection and on McVicker Street. But, this is just accidents waiting to happen. And we need to protect the people who walk and ride on our streets. So tonight, I would like you, staff, to tell the community about a ballpark figure. When are these going to happen? And the sports park. We have a 27-acre sports park. We've got the 10 acres at David A. Brown. When are these happening? I understand we need grants, but we have a new grant guy. So I hope to see these are funded and put forth. But you as Planning Commission have to ask the questions, when are these going to happen? Please run for all elected office, especially, EVMWD, you get paid $2,500. Last month, they were here at city council meeting, but you didn't know it. They didn't say anything to you. They didn't say anything to the community. Anybody can do that job.
Thank you, Gina.
Stephanie Lauderdale.
Hello, everybody. I just wanted to say thank you for all you do, and I love my city. So, one question I want to ask you is because I know it's the same thing about the baseball academy, off of La Estrella in Wildomar over here. But the one question I want to ask is, do you have enough code enforcement to take care of the complaints and of the people when we bring it in, or are they overwhelmed and do they need extra code enforcement? That's my question to you. Are you taking care of the city? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No other public comments.
Sometimes we get people in, they say we have too many code enforcements. The complaints go both ways. Oh, yeah, well, 2.5.
Okay, if there are no further public comments, do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as it is presented.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
Okay, we have one item on our consent calendar, and that is the approval of the Planning Commission minutes from June 3rd. Do we have a motion there?
Can I say something really quick? Just a small request, if we could put timestamps on the minutes so it's easier to find where in the videos that things were discussed.
Commissioner Hume, Mr. Chair, if I may, do have a follow-up from my discussion with Commissioner Hume. I did speak to the city clerk, and one of the suggestions that I got, because we do try to keep City Council and Planning Commission agendas consistent, as I mentioned, is if you log on to the website and go into our agendas, if you go to Planning Commission agenda, there's digital agenda that you can access, and you can click on each item, and it'll send you right to the video section of that item, so you can narrow down your search when you're reviewing that. If you're using YouTube, unfortunately, we can't do that. We can't, isolate those separate items. But going to the website is a way to address that matter beyond making changes to the agenda. And that's still something we're discussing, but for the immediate need, you can do that, and I will relay to this commission if there's going to be any change to the agenda.
Thank you very much.
As long as there's no changes, I'll motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay.
Unless you have a change? No, okay.
All in favor? Consent.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. We do not have any public hearings scheduled today. So we will move on to general business. We have 2 items tonight. The first one, an extension of time number 4 for plot plan 14-0069. That's the Grove Park project presented by our principal planner, Mr. Lashkar.
Good evening, staff, commissioners, and members of the public. I'll be presenting the first of 2 EOTs for tonight. This EOT is for the Grove Park Mixed-Use Project. This is EOT number 4. This project is located at the southwest corner of Yamas Drive and Clinton Keith Road. It encompasses around 20 acres. It's close to half and half with apartments and retail and office. It's immediately north of the existing Santa Rosa apartments. A little bit of a background on this. The Planning Commission reviewed tentative tract map 36673 and plot plan 140069 on January 6, 2016, and recommended City Council approve of the project. The Council subsequently reviewed and approved the project on February 10, 2016. The Council approved, as shown on the screen, an EIR, a general plan amendment, a change of zone, an approved tentative map, and a plot plan to develop the retail office center and a apartment project. A little bit of background on the extension of time itself. The project was due to expire after EOT number 3 on February 10th, 2025. However, there were a few items that happened outside of this project that allowed it to continue. The first one was that the California State Assembly passed Assembly Bill 2729, which granted an automatic 18-month extension to certain qualifying projects that were expiring at a certain date due to COVID, economic downturns, etc. It allowed 18-month automatic extension, which this project qualified for. So that project did not have to go through an EOT to get that extension. It just automatically applied. In addition, on May 10th, 2023, due to the economic downturn, the City Council adopted Ordinance 231, which would give certain projects expiring at a certain point of time an option for an additional 2-year extension of time, which would be processed in the same way as the existing EOTs. As you know, in the code, it only allows 3 EOTs for every project. However, with Ordinance 231, it allowed certain projects expiring within a certain period of time to take advantage of this extension. Now, if this extension were to be approved, the ultimate expiration date would be August 10th, 2028. There would be no additional extensions allowed after that. As you can see, these are the exhibits for the plot plan. On Clinton Keith Road would be the office and retail, and the apartments would be in the rear. The proposed EOT meets all of the required findings for approval in terms of no change of conditions, and the project is staying exactly the same, and they paid their fees and submitted their application prior to the expiration date. Based on the findings, staff recommends the Planning Commission adopt PC Resolution 2026-12, taking the following actions: to approve the EOT request to August 10, 2028, and determine that no additional environmental review is required per CEQA Guidelines 15162. Staff is available for any questions, and the applicant is also available for any questions. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if I may, just wanted to make one small correction. Apparently, it was brought to our attention in the resolution for this project. There was some language that discussed a second extension of time, but this is actually the 4th extension of time, so that was a clerical error that I want to make sure that it's included with the motion for this project.
Thank you. Questions?
I don't really have any questions. We, in the general plan, when we did the general plan, we ended up keeping that zoning because we liked that stuff there. And the mixed use is, I mean, that's even if they don't do it, we're going to still have that zoning. So it doesn't change anything for me. But
does anybody recall kind of when it was first proposed, what if they had any businesses that were lined up to come in at the time, and
maybe we could talk to Eric.
How that looks now, I guess.
Can we bring Mr. Flodine up?
Good evening, Planning Commissioners. Eric Flodine, property owner since 2012.
Eric, you mind turning on your microphone?
Is that on?
No, there's a button right below.
Am I speaking in the mic? Okay, go ahead.
I hear you.
I was just wondering, back when the project was first proposed, did you have some businesses that were in line to take those spaces, or was it more, if you build it, they will come, sort of thing? And how does that look now? It's been a while.
Yeah, Commissioner Human, it's a great question. So we purchased this property in fall of 2012, which really in timeline is not that far after the city incorporated. So basically we adopted, or we inherited when we bought the property, the county's general plan and zoning, right? And the city eventually caught up with that. Well, at the time it was business park. When we purchased the property, it was business park. So think light industrial, or that sort of project. We didn't think it was right for the time along Clinton Keith Road to have more light industrial projects, and so we took the general plan amendment and zone change process to have the top half, or the half closest to Clinton Keith, be commercial, and then the south half be apartments or multifamily residential, which is similar to the Santa Rosa apartments that have been there for, I don't know, I'm sure I can't tell you, probably 20 years. So at the time, the city was very adamant about the commercial being, Clinton Keith being all commercial. And that's the reason that we went to commercial from business park. So no, we have not, to answer your, now that's the background, to answer your question specifically, Commissioner Hume, we do not have a current tenant to come into that space.
That's fine. I just wanted to understand the background a little better.
Yes, sir. Any other questions while I'm here, gentlemen?
What needs to happen for this project to move forward?
Yeah, what we realized over time is that doing what we call a horizontal mixed use, which means we own 20 acres, and so we have a portion of the project that's one use and a portion of the project that's another use. So you have two different builders, but somebody has to go first, right? When you have two different builders, somebody's gonna have to go first. So somebody has to take the most amount of cost to put in the off-site infrastructure, the on-site infrastructure, right? It's just the economy, and it probably sounds like a broken record. Maybe you've heard this before, but the economy has not come back for the approved apartment use and the approved commercial use. By the way, it's great to see, like the sprouts, you finally see sticks in the air. That's amazing. I'm sure many of you on this commission know how long it took actually to have those, sticks in the air. It's just, the economy has been very difficult to have this project start. Believe me, after owning this property for 14 years, we wish it were starting. I don't have a specific answer for you other than the demand needs to be there for, the project is entitled for 55,000 square feet of commercial office. And we thought, wow, with the expansion of the Inland Empire, or the Inland Valley, municipal, or the medical center, 7-story tower, that's great. It's going to bring a lot of buzz. It hasn't, not for us. for the apartments, I'm just sorry to give you a long-winded answer, so just for the information. For the apartments that we have on the south half of the property, the interest rates that have significantly skyrocketed since 2019, those have killed like the credit market, and the cost of capital to borrow funds has really put a pause on multifamily in this area. So I'm giving you just the full.
I appreciate that.
Full disclosure here.
I imagine that for the last several years, you've been putting all kinds of thought and effort into finding a way to sell this project. Is there anything that's changed, as we're getting down to the wire? I would very much like to see this project move forward. I like this kind of project. I want to see more of this in my city. And I'd very much like to hear that you found that person or that company or that entity to move forward with that. I mean, are you trying a new strategy, like throwing stuff at a different wall?
Let me add another element which has been difficult, which is insurance. We've all suffered through the skyrocketing insurance rates, right? We're all experiencing that, personal level. The insurance rates for multifamily have grown just ridiculous amounts. So a more optimal use for the apartment portion of the project may be more like a townhome project, like the Horizon Place project, which is a stone's throw away, with Lennar built successfully off of Prelip and Elizabeth. Something like that, I think would work. I think would work today because there's different insurance rules for townhomes versus multifamily. So I'm just saying there's a lot of headway into the currently approved project, and I think what we end up doing is we're not. This is not a generational hold, although it feels like it. 14 years into this, it feels like a generational hold. We may need to look at something else. So this time extension, which we're asking for, will give us more time to work things out, either through our concentrated effort to bring somebody in who's a builder. By the way, we're not a builder, if I didn't make that clear at the beginning. We're not the actual builder. We need to find that company, and there's two companies, as I mentioned. Or we need to work with the city and figure out a more optimal use based on the economics of today.
Thank you, Mr. Floaty.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
No.
Do you have any public comments on this item?
No public comments.
All right. That takes us to discussion.
I'm inclined to definitely give them the special, on my end, this special 231 extension of time. I think it's a great product. Nobody's super stoked on apartments, but at least it's for market rate apartments. And if he doesn't get it gone, the next guy will just put the low income stuff that Newsom will shut down our folks. So I hope that this actually comes together before something else does. But it doesn't sound awesome, or it doesn't sound super promising, Eric, and I apologize. That's a bummer, but I think you deserve the time.
Can I ask a question of Jason? How does this play in with the eventual Clinton Keith widening? Does that project get affected at all by this, or?
So the city's project is not affected, I guess, one way or the other by this extension of time. If the city's project moves forward first, then the city would construct the improvements along Clinton Keith as part of our project scope, which our improvements are not exactly the same improvements as the developer's improvements. So the developer was conditioned to complete all the frontage improvements, which includes curb, gutter, sidewalk, street lights, parkway landscaping. Our capital project plans are focused on just widening the road and increasing the road capacity, which means we're adding lanes, we're adding a bike lane, sidewalk may or may not be included based on available budget. So in that respect, our scopes are slightly different. The project did already have a final map that recorded that dedicated necessary right-of-way along Clinton Keith, so that right-of-way does exist. But if the project moves forward first ahead of our Clinton Keith widening project, then they would be responsible to complete all those improvements as part of their development, and then when the city comes forward with the widening, we would tie into those improvements. So it's just, I guess, a matter of timing between which project comes first. Yeah, so I don't know if that helps answer or clarify the question.
It sounds like it'd be the road widening project gets a little cheaper if this gets built first. Is that about right, or?
Potentially. Like I said, their project has more improvements than ours does. If the developer does build the frontage improvements, they do have an option to apply for impact fee credits and reimbursements under our development impact fee program, and potentially under the TUMF mitigation fee program with WRCOG, which are some of the same funding sources that we are using to build the road. So to answer your question directly, potentially, yes, our project would get cheaper, but potentially the developer could also seek credits or reimbursements. So it's hard to say exactly, just because there could be a difference in cost depending on which approach is taken.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
No, I like to see it done. I mean, I like to see it get started. You know, I like the way it looks, and as you know, the economy affects everybody. So I just want to see what it's going to take to get it done.
Right. Yeah, I don't have anything really to add there. Again, this is exactly the sort of project I think brings benefit to our city. I would very much like to see projects like this. Nobody has mentioned, but there's like an entire acre of space reserved here with trees and grass, and like the kind of place I'd like to live if I was living in an apartment. And I just, if they're get this done. Yeah. No further comments. Would anybody like to make a motion?
I will gladly motion to approve adopt PC resolution number 2026-12.
I second the motion.
And we have to make, what verbiage change do we have to make on the?
Yeah, you could just say simply the change that I mentioned.
Along with the community development director's changes.
Thank you. Second?
I second the motion.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Vice Chair Golden.
Aye.
Chair King.
Aye.
Commissioner Filar.
Aye.
Commissioner Hume.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
All right, thank you. Now go start digging, please. Next up, we have item 3.2. This is another extension of time for tentative track map 37508, also presented by our principal planner, Mr. Leshkar.
I'll be presenting the second EOT of the night, which is EOT number 2 for TTM 37508. This project's located at the south side of Walnut Avenue, about 600 feet west of Orange Street. The site is just under 5 acres. In terms of background, the tentative tract map was approved by Planning Commission in February of 2019 to subdivide that site into 8 half-acre parcels per the zoning, which was rural residential. The Planning Commission approved EOT number 1 to February 20th, 2025. This project was also the beneficiary of Assembly Bill 2729, which gave it an automatic 18-month extension. So the expiration date extended to August 20th, 2026. The applicant's requesting approval of a second 2-year time extension to August 20th, 2028. The approval of the proposed EOT would give that extension. The applicant submitted the required application fee in advance of the expiration date. This is an exhibit of the tract map. They're standard half-acre lots as per the RR rural residential requirements, as well as the low-density residential general plan designation. The proposed extension of time meets all the required findings for approval. Based on the findings, staff recommends the Planning Commission adopt PC Resolution 2026-13, taking the following actions: to approve the EOT request to August 20th, 2028, and determine that no additional environmental review is required per CEQA. Thank you. Staff is available for any questions. However, I don't believe the applicant is available today.
Is this a gated community?
No.
Okay. Because it said on there it was a private road, so.
Because the lot was over the 4 acres, to split it up, it's going to need access to all, the whole back lot. The way it's
Mr. Chair, if I may, and Director Frog can correct me or add to this, but typically when we have a development that proposes a private road is because the road doesn't meet city standards, and therefore it has to be maintained private and maintained by the association or the property owners, because the city can't take that into its maintained road system because it doesn't meet the requirements. So that may be the situation here, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, and I'm not familiar with the history of the entitlement. However, Community Development Director Flores is correct. There's no obligation for a private road to be gated. There is an option if it is completely a private road, which is distinct and different from a dedicated road that's not accepted by the city. But if it is a private road, the property owner could choose to gate it or not gate it. There are other considerations, from a fire perspective that have to be taken into account, as well as just general emergency services, whether police, fire, ambulance. But if the road doesn't meet city standards or the applicant requested that they designate it as a private road, that is an option for them.
Can you put baseball training camps in the last house? Sorry.
Too soon.
Yeah.
Too soon. I have just maybe a general question. That ordinance 231, are there any projects that you recall, and I'm sorry to surprise you with this, that benefited from that relief that are now executing on their application?
With my limited knowledge, since I haven't been here long term, I would have to rely on possibly Principal Planner Lechkar to see if he recollects any projects. But off the top of my head, I do not know.
Yeah, I can give you a list. Just give me 10 seconds. My thing crashed, so I have to reload it.
So there is a list of approximately 5 projects that were called out when this extension was granted by City Council. But I guess I do, after possibly reading that list, also identifying the projects that are being built after receiving that extension.
I can play the Jeopardy music, or you can give us that information at a later date. I know it was a surprise.
Maybe during my director's report, we can update the
That would
council
be perfect.
or the commission.
Thank you, Abdu. Do we have any public comments on this item?
I actually have the list now, and if you want me to bring it up.
Please.
So the 5 projects that were affected by Ordinance 231 were the Rancon Office Industrial Project, which is now currently Wildomar Commerce Center, Cornerstone Church Expansion, Baxter Village Residential Project, the Grove Park Mixed-Use Project, and the Horizon Assisted Living Facility. So at this point, the only project that's applied for the extension has been Grove Park. And none of those projects are actually under construction right now.
Great, thank you. Do we have any public comments?
Keenan.
Hello. Good evening. I live at the northeast corner of this property, and I don't care about the building and all that. Go for it, whatever needs to be done. About 3 years ago, I had the chance to speak with the owner, and I had told him that there's a tree that is bending my fence from his side of the property. He said that maybe he would be able to look into it, but I've never been able to get a hold of him. There's another tree that's in the far northeast corner that has engulfed the telephone lines and also the Spectrum cable box. And I don't have Spectrum cable anymore because it broke the cable 3 times and they didn't want to renew me. So I don't know what to do. So I've come here to ask you guys, what steps do I take to, number one, get the tree that's in the northeast corner that's affecting cable, get that cut down or at least trimmed, and then the palm tree that has bent my fence about 2.5 feet over to the east. I don't know what to do. I've come here in the daytime to ask code enforcement about it, but nobody has been able to give me any answers.
So this isn't a time where we can engage in a back and forth, but we definitely have your comment, and I think if there's an opportunity to reach out with the information that he's requested.
Yes, well, I'll have my staff reach out to you.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
No other comments.
Moves this on to discussion.
You have someone raising his hand.
Oh,
We have another comment.
do you want to speak on that? We just need you to fill it out after you're done.
Yes, please.
Good evening. I own the property that's directly next door on 21861 Walnut Street, and I've had various problems with the owner of this property. One is the weed abutment that he finally has just had done, just like the other gentleman was saying. I've got some brush and trees that are growing that are bending my fence over and stuff like that. The weeds up to about 3 weeks ago, or maybe a month, were as high as my 5-foot fence, chain link fence, throughout the 5 acres, as dead as can be. Now, we had a fire there a few years back where a mobile caught on fire that was there before this new owner took over, and it almost burnt my garage down. It came real close to it. So I'm really concerned about giving this gentleman an extension, but making sure he's doing the proper weed abutment and taking care of the property. Other than that, it looks like a good idea. I'm just concerned about the drainage in the street, how he's going to put in a new street. And I heard because I was here when he first applied for this years ago, and he said it was going to be a gated community and it was going to have a private cul-de-sac street. But I'm concerned about all the drainage, like you guys were saying, that the city is not going to be responsible for that street. So we're going to have some sort of drainage in there where all that water doesn't run over onto my property, because I am downhill kind of from there. So
I assume the tentative plot would be, it would have, or the tentative track map anyway would be.
Yeah, I've never seen a set of plans or anything. That plot plan was the first I've seen anything.
It's in the report, but yeah, there it is. That would be curb and gutter though, right? If he's doing it?
On the private street,
Yeah, the private.
it may or may not have curb and gutter. I don't know off the top of my head. However, as part of the development process, staff would review the grading and drainage to ensure that it complies with standards, which includes ensuring that drainage doesn't negatively impact adjacent properties.
So he is going to have to submit some sort of drainage plan, no matter that the city's not responsible for that street. They'll have to.
Correct. So the applicant still has to submit drainage reports and demonstrate compliance, whether or not it's a city-maintained street.
Okay. All right. That's it. Thank you.
For the record, sir, can I have your name?
Malcolm Lawrence.
Thank you.
Thank you, Malcolm.
And I would just like to inform the public that the original staff report with the original plans and this extension of time staff report does include the plans. So if anybody would like to review them, they can go to those items.
In the agenda packet, yeah.
In the agenda packet, yes.
But the owner hasn't submitted anything about architectural elevations or anything?
No, but they would be prior to building and going through the grading permit process and the final map process and everything. They have to go through a design review with the city and meet all of our residential single-family design standards for tracts.
And just as general statement and information, the weed abatement and the maintenance of the property are not related to the project, but we do have our fire marshal's office that addresses any weed abatement on vacant property, which this, I believe, may be vacant, or code enforcement addresses weed abatement if the project is developed or the property is developed. In addition to that, as far as the property maintenance, that also falls under the purview of code enforcement. So if anybody has any issues to that effect, they can contact our staff for that. And any other issue with relates to private matters, like if it's damaging a fence, things of that nature, that's more of a private matter. The city doesn't get involved, so that would be something that they would have to work with the property owner, possibly legal advice and things of that nature. So.
Along those lines, Director, is there an easy way for a resident of the city of Wildomar to let the city know that a property has a maintenance problem?
I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good segue. The city does have a new app, C-Click Fix. It is available on both Apple product and Android products. You can download that app, or you can even go to our website and you can submit requests or issues that you're having within the city, not just on private property, but also on local roads and public property, or other items like homeless issues and things of that nature. It's a really quick way to submit your requests, and our staff is addressing those as soon as we get them.
What's the app called again, Robert?
C-Click Fix.
C-Clip Fix.
C-Click Fix.
C-Click.
Wildomar.
C-Click Fix.
And a resident or anybody submitting something through the C-Click Fix would get status updates as staff address those concerns?
So the request or the items can be submitted anonymously, but if they register and they create an account and they ask to be notified, they can be notified on the progress of the items. So.
Thank you.
And if you
does this app allow them to upload pictures of the issues that they're
Yes. So they can identify the site through a map or through an address, and then once they do that, they're able to input the type of issue that they're having, and they're able to upload documents or pictures or anything of that nature for our staff to review and consider.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
And if you have an older phone like this one here, the Wildomar.gov website also has a place where you can do a report just like that. And on a more personal experience note, if you have a vacant lot owner near you who continually does not take care of their weeds, I do recommend reporting early and often, because the city does do a pretty good job of responding to weed abatement concerns.
And I will say, and I'll give kudos to our fire marshal's office, because they launched a program this year to be proactive with that approach. So we have identified over 1,000 properties, and a handful of those, a good handful, more than a handful, were identified as having an issue with weed abatement. So we're proactively going after addressing those matters.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
I have a question. I know the owner's not here, and I know they're asking for an extension. And you know, we said they met out the requirement. Did they indicate why they needed the extension? I mean, what was the cause of them not getting started?
They needed additional time to basically record the map. They're still trying to gather everything they need to record the map.
Okay.
Additional discussion?
No, sounds like a terrible neighbor, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Just generally, this topic came up in recent memory, and, there was some discussion about moving these extensions of time into an administrative process. and we asked that did not happen. And these discussions, this conversation is really exactly why. For those of you that are saying, well, this is a terrible neighbor, they should punish them or something. Well, of course, we're not going to do that. We're here to make sure that they meet the findings, and our city staff is here to protect the city and make sure that due process is given to every applicant. However, we do get to ask questions and make them answer questions. We get to have that discussion out here in the open for the benefit of the citizens of our city. So I'm glad that we're able to have that discussion. They meet the findings. I see no reason not to grant this extension of time. If I have a motion.
I'll make a motion. I have to say the specifics. Make a motion to adopt PC resolution number 2026-13.
And I'll second that.
May I have a roll call?
Commissioner Hume,
Aye.
Commissioner Filar,
Aye.
Vice Chair Golden,
Aye.
Chair King.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to Planning Commission communications. Does anybody have anything they'd like to share?
I have a couple of questions for staff, since we're talking. I think this is going to come under Jason, but Ms. Keegan's question about adding you can also turn right on the southbound lane, is that under our control, or is that the DOT because it's a bridge?
So I apologize. I had stepped out to speak with the other resident.
No problem.
I think I missed. Is this at Hidden Springs and Clinton Keith?
Pretty much, yeah, where it backs up all the way down to Palomar.
So what we have included in our budget this year under traffic operations to do a signal modification to the intersection of Hidden Springs and Clinton Keith. The goal is to allow for 2 left turn lanes on Hidden Springs Road. So southbound, 2 left turn lanes to head east towards the freeway. Part of the challenge with that intersection is the amount of vehicles that we're clearing on Hidden Springs. The amount of time we can give to that turn is limited because of the amount of traffic on Clinton Keith, so it's a little bit of a balancing act on all the timing. So to try to alleviate that, we're looking to allow for a second left turn to clear more vehicles on Hidden Springs, which then would allow us to further adjust the timing to alleviate some of the backup. But so that's something that's currently in progress that we're working on. But I think I may have missed this specific.
Hers is a little different than that.
Yeah.
That's probably definitely an issue also. That'll back up all the way to the stop sign, or at least to one of the first exits to or entrances. No, she was concerned with it backing up.
Eastbound?
I guess
it's down to Palomar.
I guess it'd be
okay.
She was talking about the right turn
if you're headed east, turning south
onto
to get
the freeway.
to the freeway.
Yeah, so it does back up all the way down past the Starbucks, and then a bunch of the buttheads that want to run that one lane in, and then try and meet the light and kind of cut everyone off. Is there a way, because that's a right-hand turn only to get southbound? Is there a way, and it's a 3-lane entrance? Is there a way to add a second? You can also turn right or go straight.
Go through. That would require Caltrans approval because that impacts the ramp operation, and it's directly in their right-of-way. So similar to like the reason we're working with Caltrans on Wildomar Trail. So that is something we can look into and see how, if that's a viable solution and a viable option, but it would require us to work through Caltrans to get it approved. So yeah, we can look into it and see if that's
that would be it. It really is an
make
issue.
sense.
It backs up all the way down to Palomar.
Okay.
Yeah, daily.
Yeah.
Oh, no, disc golf that Mr. Lusky brought up at the Passive Park. That's the first I'd heard of that. I know we were looking at like maybe adding the workout stations or something like that. Was that just kind of mixed in there and I never picked up on that?
Yeah, I think it had been in there throughout or at various points during the community engagement process on the development of the park. I think the intent of the disc golf, so it is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's only 6 actual holes that are played on a series of 3 repeat rounds. equating to 18 holes, so it's not actually 18 different holes. And I think the intent was just as more of a recreational use as opposed to a competitive disc golf course. So as people are on the site, I think the intent of the site was to preserve the site in its condition as much as possible. Not completely regrade the site, and so maintaining some of the vegetation and the trees that were there, while also introducing, enhancing the trail network so people can enjoy that feature of the park a little bit more. And with that, were little picnic or tables, workout stations, and yeah. So the disc golf was part of the discussion during the community engagement.
I'm not like against it or anything. I just wanted to ask for Mr. Lesky. That was the first I'd heard it. Other than that, my only other communication was the fun little videos you guys, the staff and council, have been putting on. Those are great. Answer some questions here and there for people, and you guys look so natural doing it.
Thank you. Those will continue with more topics than just community development and things we do, but also other items, and also look out for other information that's coming out. We'd like to keep our community informed, so that's the goal of that effort.
Just wanted to say, really grateful for finishing the Bundy Canyon repaving underneath the freeway. Working with Caltrans, I'm sure, is never a highlight of your day, but thank you so much for finishing it end to end. It's such a huge improvement.
Vice Chair? Okay. City birthday, July 18th. That was great. I saw all my friends there, and a whole bunch of Wildomar residents, so glad we were able to do that. But that's all I have. Do we have a Community Development Director's report?
No report for today. Thank you.
City Attorney?
Nothing at this time. Thank you.
Would any of this commission like to request a future agenda item?
I don't think I had anything either for that. Nothing for me.
Vice Chair? Okay, it appears that our business has concluded. I will adjourn at 7:07.